Good morning and happy first day of school, Montgomery County Public Schools. I am Dr. Kavina Griffith, the proud principal of the Harriet R. Tubman Elementary School here in Gaithersburg. I want to start by saying thank you to our team of support, our Board of Education, Superintendent McKnight, district leadership, county leadership, and the city of Gaithersburg for the establishment of our school to ease the overcrowding in the Gaithersburg cluster. We stand in a complete state-of-the-art building because of many years of hard work and an effort from many supporters. I am pleased to lead and serve alongside our amazing Tubman staff and support from our community. Today, we have our entire PTA board here representing our Tubman community. This building is home to leaders and champions of equity, learners who embody the characteristics of our namesake, Harriet Tubman. At Tubman, we commit to every child, every day, by provisioning for equitable teaching and learning, fostering engagement of all stakeholders, and holding high expectations for safety, success, and well-being for all. Once again, welcome to Harriet R. Tubman Elementary School, and it is my privilege to introduce our Board of Education President, Ms. Brenda Wolf.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Brenda Wolf. For those of you that don't know me, President of the Montgomery County Board of Education. Thank you, Dr. Griffith, for welcoming us to this wonderful new school. This is absolutely amazing, and it was done in time to open today. Thank you. I'm so pleased to be here on the first day of school with my colleagues. I'm going to start with Ms. Mondrowski. Can you raise? Ms. Evans, Dr. Joftas, Lynn Harris. I saw Carla Silvestri in the back, as well as our other elected officials. Now, you know, I was given names, but I know I wasn't given all of them. So please, please forgive me if I miss anybody. But I see our county executive, Mark Elridge, our county council president, Gabe Albernaz. Do I see Judd Ashman? I haven't seen him in here. I see Cheryl Kagan, Senator Cheryl Kagan, Senator Nancy King, and I'm sorry if I missed anybody. Oh, my favorite. He's my favorite. Stand up, Craig. Stand up. Chair of the Education Committee. We owe him a lot. See, that's why you shouldn't start calling names. You know, it wasn't this right. So we were here last week to celebrate the ribbon cutting, but today the doors are open and this new school has students and the energy that comes with students being in the building. All the work all summer long, completing construction projects such as the school and the staff training sessions and cleaning, repairing, and restocking are all to get us to today, the first day of school for 2022-2023. New school year is a time of renewal. Students and staff alike come excited and the potential of learning and mastering new content for expanding knowledge and exploring the unknown. The education we bring to our students is so important for their future, and this is why it is important that we work to provide opportunity and access to every child, no matter the background. Former President John F. Kennedy said, "Let us think of education as the means of developing our greatest abilities, because in each of us there is a private hope and dream which fulfilled can be translated into benefit for everyone and greater strength for our nation." Today, let us remind ourselves that our work as adults is for the education of our children, who are the future of our community and the future of our nation. It is our investment in a bright and fruitful future for all of us. I want to recognize the staff here at the school. I love the name Team Tubman that was dubbed. It says a lot. I'm so impressed at how quickly you've come together as a unified team. This speaks for your professionalism and the great leadership you have in Dr. Griffith. You moved into a building and readied yourself for the first day of school while the construction workers were still here. Wow. I want to leave you with a thought for the students in school here today. Many of you know I love quotes, and I'm reminded of one that Ms. Thomas, assistant principal here at Harriet Tubman, quoted at the ribbon cutting last week. Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world. These words were spoken by the school's namesake, Harriet Tubman, and they were spoken so very long ago, yet they ring true today as we consider our mission as educators. We know children can dream. We must encourage that. We must also teach patience. We must encourage passion, and we must prepare our children to think about and prepare for tomorrow. This is my commitment as president of the Board of Education to make sure the adults who work with our children inspire them to reach for the stars. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce to you our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. McKnight. You know what to call you.
All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Wasn't it so nice to drive up? And I have to tell you, we were just here last week for the ribbon cutting, and I'm wearing this because I am definitely wearing my orange to support Harriet Tubman colors today. But it was so nice to drive up this morning. We were just reflecting on, we were here for the ribbon cutting last week, and the builder said that there was one part that was going to be ready in the parking lot by today, and guess what? It's done. Paved. Looks amazing. So I, again, am Superintendent Monifa McKnight here in Montgomery County Public Schools, and I am thrilled to be here. And I want to thank all of you for being here and a part of this great celebration. Thank you, President Wolf, for being here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to ask you to come back up, President Wolf, because what I have to say today really speaks to a community effort, and I think the Board of Education has been a huge part of that. I'm going to ask all the board members if you could just come up and stand with me as I give my remarks. All right, very good. So as I speak today, I thought it was very important that we stand together because this has truly been an effort by MCPS and the school board over years. And to you, Dr. Griffith, I want to thank you for just welcoming us and embracing this opportunity as new principal in a brand new building and as a new principal with all of that great energy that you have and the smiles that really just shows that you're the right person for the school and for this community. What a gift. We started out with the saying this year, and the Board of Education members and I, we talked about it after our grand opening for central office last week, and we said, we're going to start saying Happy New Year. Because this is, in fact, a new year for us, for MCPS, and it's actually a new year because this is the first year that we have learned so much from COVID and have provision for that so that it doesn't have to be the single focus of how we operate as a school system. And so with that said, as we open up this new building, Harriet R. Tubman Elementary School right here in Gaithersburg, we're excited about it being opening right now this year with just so much excitement ahead of the students in this community. And it really does open up a new chapter for this community and students here. So with that, I say to the entire community, Happy New Year. Like any celebration, today truly is about community, and this is a special, special community. This project has come together over many months, over the sweat, tears, and just perseverance of so many who thought that this was definitely needed in this community. And so for us to stand here collectively to say that we are celebrating this opportunity, I just want to say it really does speak to community being the basis of our mantra for opening this year. Our opening for this year is around the theme, All Together Now. all for our students. And we know that even opening new buildings, some say, well, you know, that's not really supporting learning. Well, it does, because if you see what I see, those smiling faces walking around this building, when students are able to walk into a new school, shiny new floors, fresh paint on the walls, books categorized perfectly in the library, it says a lot to them that this community cares about the space in which I have to learn in. And so together, I think it's important for us to recognize and celebrate how far this effort has taken us, and most importantly, how it's paying off in our students' faces today. First today, I want to just start sharing a few things about the excitement of the day. I mean, we have been at Rockville High School since 5 o'clock a.m. this morning, and it seems like it's only been an hour ago, although I know it has not, but just out there this morning sharing with our community overall the success that we start out with this year. I spoke a lot about us opening this school today and how this is just a good start to the year to open up a new school, and this one particularly Harriet R. Tubman Elementary School. But I also want to say today we're excited because we're sharing good news around our staffing numbers. We are 99% staffed in Montgomery County Public Schools. And I thank you for that, because I'm going to share a few statistics with you that speaks to why that number is important. We are the largest school system in the state of Maryland, and we are the 14th largest in the nation. So that means our total staff are approximately 25,500 staff. Approximate number of teachers, close to 14,000. Total number of bus drivers, over 1,100 bus drivers. 1,100 bus drivers. And I also asked for this statistic, and I'm going to share it with you. They drive approximately 23.3 million miles over the year. Okay? A lot of driving. And we're also excited that not only are they driving, but we're also doing some things around cutting edge with transportation. We have the largest electric bus fleet right now with 25 on site. And we're excited about that because as we bring in those electric buses, we're taking care of our environment and our community, and I appreciate the partnership that we have gotten and the support we've gotten from the county and all of our leaders to support that effort. And I will say by the fall, late fall, we're looking to have an additional 61. So if you ask me, I'm going to say we're going to continue to be in the lead of having the largest electric bus fleet here in Montgomery County Public Schools. Secondly, this year marks a transition from management of operations to us really leading to focus on providing an equitable learning environment for our students in the classroom. It was very difficult over the last couple of years, and we did what we needed to do to manage all the needs around COVID-19. Our students needed to be safe. Our families needed to know that we had protocols to keep our students safe. And guess what? Those protocols are still in place. And we're happy to welcome our medical officer, Dr. Patricia Kapunen. Is she here today? All right, well, she's, I'm sure, off looking at some statistics and numbers and looking at our county rate cases to make sure she's following that so that the school system can be in line. But we are so excited to have her on board and to still be able to have an expert on staff working with the Department of Health and Human Services along with our state Department of Health to make sure that we have the right guidance in place to keep our schools safe, but making sure that's taken care of so that we can do what we are here to do, which is focus on that experience in the classroom for our students and ensuring that it is a meaningful experience for every single child in Montgomery County Public Schools. And so, yes, we should celebrate that. We absolutely should. So, you know, we've been seeking normalcy for a while, and I feel like this year really does get us off to a good start of really being able to implement some normalcy aside from some of the turbulence that we've experienced over the last few years. And even with all the setbacks that the pandemic imposed upon us, you know, we cannot move at the same pace as before. This pandemic lingered around much longer than any of us expected. In the school calendar calculation, I say we were impacted for 2 years and 1 quarter. 2 years and a quarter, okay? So that's a long time, and we've been very diligent about making sure we know where our students are, and most importantly, accelerating their progress. We've got to be focused on that, and we are focusing on that through implementation of the 3 priorities that I've laid out for the school system this year. The first priority being engaging stakeholders and rebuilding trust with our students, staff, and community overall. And I want to thank you all for being so much a part of that. I look back, I look at the media. You have been a part of us sharing that message with our families. You have been everywhere with us at our back to school fair this weekend and really following to see all the things that we're doing to interact with our communities. And I appreciate you for being a part of helping us to tell that story. All of our elected officials, you are there. You have been at every event in which we have tried to be there, building relationships and forging relationships with our families, because you understand the importance of building community. None of us can do anything alone. And I thank you for your partnership in that. So that's the first priority. The second priority is supporting mental health and well-being for our students and staff. And we know we continue to monitor that and implement programs to ensure that we are supporting students appropriately as well as our staff. And the third, returning to equitable teaching and learning, as I stated earlier. So we know that we can do this because of the work that is alive right here in the Gaithersburg cluster. A perfect example of how these priorities come to life here. And as I speak about the Gaithersburg cluster, I'm just going to say a few things before I close. This cluster is really a part of an exciting community of learners that welcome Harriet R. Tubman Elementary School as the 8th elementary school in the cluster. As the 8th, we have watched the growth in this area, and we've been acknowledging it, and this school has been a part of us acknowledging that growth. And again, that's why our board members stand here with me, being a part of celebrating that. And to be even more specific, I heard that Mayor Ashman is not here, but he and the council of the city of Gaithersburg and our entire board, and I want to call out a few things that have occurred in our board over the last couple of years that I think really speaks to it. Dr. Judy Daka, she represents this cluster and represents it proudly. She was here at the ribbon cutting and wants everyone to know, and we acknowledge her for that. And our board member, Ms. Rebecca Smaldrowski, advocated tirelessly for this school, helping to make this dream of bringing another school to this community come true, and we thank you for that and all of your advocacy. And I know the community are used to seeing you and your face here over the years saying, this is something that we have to do. So great things are happening across the schools in Gaithersburg. At Washington Grove Elementary, we're excited that they're expanding their dual language program this year across all grade levels, from pre-kindergarten through 5th grade. Their students learn in English and Spanish, and we are seeing the promise of dual immersion approach pay off with an increased performance in mathematics, increasing from 29 percentage points over last year. Wow. Goshen Elementary School also, through their targeted teaching strategies and tutoring, they improved their Maryland assessment scores by 93%. Okay? I'm going to keep going. All happening right here in the Gaithersburg cluster. At Forest Oak Middle School, more than 60% of students made the honor roll, and thanks to the school's engagement efforts, the Latino Parent Advocacy Group has more than 100 families participating and is continuing to grow. Gaithersburg High School, they have a focus on equitable learning experiences and have increased their overall graduation rate by 8%, with Hispanic and Latino graduation rates increasing by 40%. So I share those statistics with you because, no, they should not be a surprise, because our staff members are very committed to the work that we do. But this community are in high demand, as they should be, because of the progress that they're making. And I'm proud to stand here with the Board of Education today and share a lot of the progress that has been made. So soon, Harriet R. Tubman Elementary School will welcome its first class of pre-kindergarten students. Isn't that exciting? I see our pre-K folks over there cheering it on because they are excited as well. And as we onboard the class of pre-kindergarten students here, that's going to represent a 24% increase in full-day kindergarten seats district-wide. Yeah. So there is much that we're doing, planning, and implementing in each school and classroom throughout this county, readiness for graduation, readiness for career, readiness for college, readiness for community is what we know we have to strive for every experience that a student is having in Montgomery County Public Schools, whether they are now in pre-K or a graduate or a senior going into their final year of high school. Every moment counts, and so I want to just thank our teachers and our staff and our leaders, our district staff, for everything that you've done to commit to these types of successes, because we all share them together. So with that, let's continue to be on this train of all together now, today, as this year continues to ensure that our students are going to get the best education ever right here in Montgomery County Public Schools. We are committed to that, and we will achieve it. And I know we will because of the strength of this community. So thank you so much for all of your contributions to that. And at this time, I'd like to introduce our Montgomery County Executive, Mr. Mark Alvidge. Thank you.
This is really remarkable, and it's really great to be in a space like this. I can think of my own experiences as a parent. My kids went through Rolling Terrace Elementary School, and I remember when they tore the old school down, and then we had the grand opening of the new school. And if you don't think the space matters, you're wrong. Space matters. You know when your school's taken care of, and you know when the school reflects the aspirations that we have for our children. You know when schools don't do that. I remember growing up in DC. I went to Whittier Elementary School, and I went in the years of integration, starting in '54. And you could see in DC a change in schools on different sides of the park. And in my school, which was a perfectly good school when I went there, when I left, it had broken windows and non-functioning parts of the building. But when I was given placement tests for some program they had, and I tested on the other side of the county, a school that looked like mine pretty much actually was in perfect shape. They didn't have broken windows. And I can tell you, as a kid in the school, you notice these things. And you hear this over and over again, and so it matters what we do. And this school here really matters. And it's a great project in this community. It relieves not just an issue for the parents who are coming here, but it has an effect on the elementary schools around it, and relieving the overcrowding in these other elementary schools. And this is the important work we've done. The council, myself, have taken some flack for the amount of debt we built up in this county. This is the debt we built up in this county. Let's not be confused about and this started under Reich. We started with low interest rates. We made a determination that we were going to build the capital projects that these communities needed. And we poured a ton of money into the schools. And it was the right thing to do. Did it increase our bonded debt? Yeah. Did it provide better educational opportunities for our children? Absolutely. And I will say we also got help, particularly in the last couple of years from the state legislature, getting changes in the formulas, where we only used to get reimbursed for 23% of our investment in schools, and now our schools looks like we're going to be getting close to 50%. And that means our dollars go farther. So I want to thank the legislature, our legislators. This cooperation between us and the focus on making sure that Montgomery County is a premier educational place for everybody, I think is just really important. We can't do this if we're not working on this together. We can't do this if we're not willing to stand up and take a little heat occasionally for decisions we make, because sometimes you take heat for the right decision. You're going to take heat for bad decisions. You might as well get heat for both. Should be equitable about this. So I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled with the leadership that's come into the school system now. I am really pleased that having achieved 99% of your staffing needs. There was talk like 3 weeks ago about what was going to happen, and there was a great deal of concern. I think that the pay increases, our ability to raise pay, was another big factor in being able to not only attract new teachers, but to recruit from other systems. We know in this department, and I'll frankly say in the police department as well, we lost the ability to recruit when we're not competitive, and we don't get to recruit from other systems. In both places, we're now able to recruit from other places as well as recruit new people coming into the system. So I want to thank you for your leadership, thank the board for the work they've done. Of course, everything you do depends on a board that's working in the same direction. So this is a great joint effort, and the community has been persistent, and that's what you need to be. And so you should never not be persistent. This is a reflection of everybody's wonderful work. So I'm happy to be here. Happy to see this school. Look forward to getting a quick tour before I head off to the next place we're going. But thank you all very much.
Thank you. It's now my privilege and honor to welcome Mr. Gabe Albornoz, President of the Montgomery County Council, followed by Mr. Craig Rice, Chair of the Education Committee.
Doesn't it feel good to be here in person? And the amount of work that went into today is hard to quantify. But I want to begin by giving greetings on behalf of the entire council. And in a moment, you will hear from my friend and colleague, Councilmember Craig Rice, who I have some words to say about before I go. But I want to begin with acknowledgments. And Mahatma Gandhi once said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service to others. And it's so appropriate that Dr. Griffith is serving as our host today, because I want to acknowledge her leadership and that of her colleagues and administrators all across this 210 school system, the staff, the teachers that have worked tirelessly year-round under circumstances that none of us could have ever imagined just a few years ago. They've done so with grace, they've done so with innovation, they've done so with patience, and they've done so acknowledging that they bear the most important responsibility that anyone can possibly imagine, taking care of our most precious asset and our most precious treasure, our children and youth. So as a parent myself of 4 kids who were anxious to get off to school this morning, and to all of our parents out there, I also want to thank all of you. This has been quite a journey these last 2.5 years, a journey that has led us to today. We appreciate your patience as well. And I learned a long time ago that the word patience is rooted in the Latin word to suffer. But our parents have done an extraordinary job working with our school system to get us to where we are today. Which brings me to our Board of Education. You are all unbelievable leaders, and the sacrifice that you have each made professionally to step up and lead in the way that you have is also truly extraordinary. We all owe you a tremendous debt of gratitude. And to President Wolf and all of the current members of the Board of Education, books will be written about the leadership that you have shown these last 3 years under very, very difficult circumstances. So we can't thank you all enough. And then, of course, Dr. McKnight and her team. We were thrilled at her appointment and her leadership through all of this. And I can't think of a better person on this planet to lead our school system through this important state of transition than Dr. McKnight. I have gotten to know her as well as all of my colleagues and know that she is a trusted and valued partner. And we on the council stand committed to ensuring, Dr. McKnight, that you have the support that you need to be successful to be able to do your extraordinarily important job. And finally, just a couple of other acknowledgments. I do want to thank our General Assembly, as well as our municipal leaders. It takes a village to raise our children. It takes a village to be able to provide this incredible school system with the support that it needs to remain the treasure that it is. All roads, whether it's economic development, whether it's prosperity as a community as a whole, lead through our great school system. It has to remain our most important investment, and we as elected officials are committed now and into the future in ensuring that it is, because it is the most important investment that we can make as elected officials. I want to end with just a couple of thoughts in acknowledging our students, who have also shown tremendous leadership through this extraordinary time. I had a hard time focusing on the speeches because I saw the students passing through the window as we were talking today. And it just filled me with hope. It filled me with energy. It filled me with happiness, knowing that these students have an opportunity before them that was afforded to all of us at some point. I still remember what I wore the first day of my freshman year of high school at Walt Whitman High School. It was a teal extra large t-shirt from the Gap and jean shorts. I did not look good, but it was a fantastic and a memorable experience in so many different ways. And the anxiety that those students are feeling right now is real. And the challenges that they have faced are real. We all feel the weight and the pressure of meeting this moment and ensuring that those students receive the love and the attention and the support that, frankly, they deserve and that we should all demand. So this is a great day. This is a wonderful day to re-energize, to reflect on all that is working here within this extraordinary school system, acknowledging that there are challenges that lie ahead, but knowing that we remain steady and steadfast in meeting this moment and supporting these beautiful, beautiful treasures that are in the school and across this 210 school system. Muchísimas, muchísimas gracias a todos por estar aquí hoy día. Es un honor de representar el Consejo hoy día y a dirigir que hoy día es un día bien especial para nuestros hijos. Y quiero dar gracias a todas las personas que han trabajado tan duro para estar seguro que este día ha sido lo que ha sido. Y tenemos que hacer todo lo posible para apoyar a estos jóvenes y a estas familias. Y lo vamos a hacer juntos. Muchísimas, muchísimas gracias. Thank you. I want to introduce now Craig Rice, who will be speaking, but before I do that, I just want to say this will be Craig's last year on the council. The leadership he has shown by this council in partnership with the state, as well as our national partners, is truly extraordinary. It's been an honor and privilege to serve with him these last 4 years, and 8 years before that as the director of the Recreation Department. He has left this entire community better than he found it. Craig, we owe you a debt of gratitude. There will be a time formally to thank you, but I want to do that publicly here now. Craig Rice.
So, it's tough because I got into this, all of this, because of this. Being the son of a teacher, then principal, it was always ingrained in me how important education always has been and always will be. You know, people have talked about the kids that are walking by, and the thing is that we're in an incredibly difficult time right now, where so many of our children who look like the children who are walking through this hallway are already destined for tremendous challenges. And I say that because we have to be real. What is it that we see that they're constantly exposed to, that they're seeing on television every single night? With yet another murder by a person who looks just like them, by continuous challenges in terms of inequality that exists in the community with people who look just like them. And so it's our responsibility to make sure that they understand that that is not their destiny, that their destiny is whatever they set their minds out to be and whatever it is that they aspire and choose to explore. That is the power of people, community, and education. It truly is the thing that defines us, taking away all of those barriers that continue to exist for people. And I think that it's one where what this school represents is something that I think that we envisioned on the Kerwin Commission for a very long time in terms of talking about community, and as I heard Principal Griffith talk about before, family. I remember a time when I grew up when family was every single person in the neighborhood, your extended family, people that just knew you, and they all were responsible in terms of ensuring your success. We got to get back to that. That's what this school represents. That's what the people here represent. And I think that for us, we are at an inflection point. Are we going to allow the continued divisiveness that exists mostly at the federal level, to then shape what we do at a local community level. It is the reason why I love local government so much. No offense to my state partners. But it is one where I see so much of us working together to make sure that regardless of D or R or whatever it is that's behind our name, that it is about our community. It is about our neighborhood. It is about our kids. That is the driving factor. And we all know that we benefit as a result. That's the reality. That's why this job has been hard, but it hasn't. This job's been easy because I always led with my heart, knowing that the same sacrifices that my mother made each and every day are the same ones that I needed to do for my community. And so I thank all the people who have continued to support. You know, I've been doing this job for a while now, and so there's too many to mention, but all of you know who you are, and you all played special roles in terms of helping me to get where I am and in us working together to achieve. And I think that, you know, for that bulldog, who Dr. McKnight knows all too well, who is my mother, Vivian Rice, who went to South Carolina State, the same school that Dr. McKnight did. Her experiences are ones that shaped me, and I hope that we never forget about our past and our history. And the naming of Harriet Tubman rings true here. Because when you think about her mission, and I want to close with this, Harriet Tubman did not ensure that people would then be successful when she got them to that place, but she got them there to where then it was up to them to make those decisions and to do the things that they knew would be successful. It's the same thing that we're doing here, to ensure that we can navigate people through some of the troubled waters, some of the challenges that we know that they're going to experience, and ensure they get to that place where they then can make decisions on their own about what it is that's going to be right for them and the best for them. It truly is indicative of what it is that we do. Harriet Tubman, a great leader, but a navigator who helped people to understand getting past all of that bad stuff, all of those things that were horrible that continue to keep folks down, would then allow for you to have the freedom to make your own decisions and to make your own choices. We never in Montgomery County define and say that success is being a lawyer or being a doctor or being an engineer or a NASA astronaut. The real success is being able to choose what it is that you want to do. That is freedom. It's represented by Harriet Tubman. It's represented by the vision that we have here in Montgomery County, and it's represented by each and every one of you. And so I thank all of you for continuing to make freedom run true when it comes to these kids, because at the end of the day, that's the best gift that we can ever give them. So thank you guys. God bless.
Before we tour the school and see some of these wonderful classrooms, we do have time for a few questions from the media. Are there any questions? And let me get you with the mic if there is one. Yes.
Hi, how many vacancies remain for staff, teaching, and bus driver positions? And could you talk a bit about the recruitment efforts to help make up the ground this year?
Sure. So us being 99% staff, I'll get into some numbers more specifically. At this point, we have about an average of 159 teacher vacancies. About 89 of them are special education teachers that we are trying to fill. For bus drivers, we have 32 vacancies remaining, and for overall support staff, a little over 400. And so that's where we are right now. Some of the recruitment efforts that we found to be very successful this year is actually rebranding how we recruit, going out to the community and meeting our community members where they are. So we could very well have a pop-up shop at a shopping center versus in the past, advertising our positions and expecting everyone to come to us. We found success in us going to them. We've also collaborated with a few community partners who help us in these recruitment efforts. So I would say the strongest benefit that we found this year in our recruitment strategy is not doing it alone and connecting with others in our community. See, we're building on this theme of all together now. We have not been able to achieve any of our successes independently this year as a school system. We've had many of our retirees come forward and say, we see you in need. What can we do? I shared last week, we were at a press event, and Moms Demand Action was there, and one came over and said, you all needed help. I'm certified in Spanish, and I'm there teaching this year. And I thanked her for it. And so that's one story of many of our community members stepping forward and saying, I have something to offer, and at this time, I'm going to come forward and help.
Any other questions? Yes, certainly.
Thanks. Has the incentive for hiring special education teachers made an impact yet? And with the current teacher vacancies, is that substitute teachers filling in all of them in the short term?
Okay, so I hear two things there.
Sorry, yes.
So, no, that's fine. I'm going to hit them both. So in terms of the special education teacher incentive, as you know, we just came to an agreement last week on that, and so we're still very much in the process of seeing how that initiative plays out. What we're going to learn from that is this something that is going to be helpful moving forward, or is there something different that we need to look at? So we wouldn't be able to speak to the success of that or not, because we're freshly coming off of making that agreement. In terms of our permanent substitute program, that is definitely one that became successful for us that we've built on this year. Last year, particularly during those periods of Omicron when we had to become more creative than we ever became about making sure that we covered staffing in a number of different ways, we established the permanent substitute program, and that allowed us to be able to have substitutes who were familiar with the schools, familiar with the families, familiar with the students, come in and serve in those schools consistently so that they could be on call for whatever vacancies were needed. And so it are those staff members who are in those programs who have helped us fill the vacancies that we have not permanently filled yet. So many of them, again, are retired certified teachers, those who have special certifications who serve in those programs to cover those courses until we're able to hire permanently. And one thing I want to say, so we're also celebrating today that our enrollment numbers have gone up. And I am thrilled about that because that speaks to our community feeling the stability that we've been seeking over the last couple of years. We're now close to 161,000 students, or maybe over, I think, yeah, over 161,000. So just in comparison over the last couple of years of COVID-19, we were around the 159,000 number. And so as we enroll new students into our system, every time we enroll and we're welcoming them and we're ready for them, but that also creates new vacancies. And so that's why numbers continue to change. And so these recruitment efforts that I'm speaking about today that we found to be successful, we're going to continue to build on them and build on those partnerships with others to help hire the staff that we need for our school system.